Hi. Pam, you got to move in a little bit. How are we doing? Happy
everybody.
Friday. We are finally back. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon. We are on the road, which typically would be Thursday for us.
Yes.
So, Pam, thank you for indulging our schedule change today.
It's Friday. We're a little jumbled up.
We're all over the place, but it was nice. We did take a break and we missed you all, and it's nice to be here. And so, welcome to Live from Rabs from Outside Rabs. We're on the road today. We are at
Jay's on the Bay, which is Joe Salamini's place, and we are in the back area, and it's got a
really
pizza
nice
oven,
out
which
here.
is very nice. My son is at the next table, but doesn't want to be seen eating on camera.
who had an all-star day on the
Yes,
diamond
he did.
on the baseball diamond yesterday.
And his brother.
Yes, we had a brother catching and a brother on first base and playing on opposite teams, so it was quite a day.
So I didn't know. I did not know that there was a patio back here.
Yes.
Which I think this is great. But they've also added seating in the street. He's going to join us in a little while, so we'll talk a little bit about what's going on here. And Pam, this pizza looks delicious. Look at this. We're eating already.
Can I serve this?
You
Yes,
can do
we
whatever
have
you
nice-
like. Absolutely.
Hello, Joseph.
So what do we have? What is this? Pizza.
Delicious pizza. He has a kind of a. This is.
So, Ronnie, I saw that you asked if I didn't like Defendant Jacob. I actually loved it. I wasn't wild about the
Where's that
ending.
You.
Was not wild about the ending, Ronnie.
I didn't watch it. So what is this about?
It's about a young boy who is accused of murdering a classmate. That's kind of like a thriller. And,
So it's not based on a true story. Or
not
is
to
it?
my knowledge. But I thought the end, I didn't like the end at all. I didn't like it.
You didn't like this. So
Defending Jacob.
does Ronnie feel otherwise? Ronnie, does Ronnie feel otherwise? Did Ronnie like it? Did you express your concern in public forum? How did this happen?
He asked me on the street.
No.
Maybe it's not a-
Did you said you were going to watch it, but did you say?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that was one of his suggestions.
Got it. I thought you
Somebody
posted
jumped
on the Facebook that you didn't like something
No,
because
he
Nazareth
suggested
doesn't
it.
do that. So that's why I was.
I don't do what?
You wouldn't
I-
like just make a post. Oh, I didn't like it. You just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Right, that's why I was asking.
Yes, he asked for my feedback.
And Anne, happy belated birthday. Wednesday was
I
Anne's
loved her
birthday,
picture.
and her children, her favorite child, Joe, of course, came by, and they wanted to surprise her for her birthday, and they picked up some Rabs T-shirts, and so happy birthday, and Ron thought it was great.
I love the whole thing, except Ronnie, you really like the ending of that? I don't want to give it away for anybody who hasn't watched it, but
That's all right.
well, Frank and I will talk off camera.
We'll have to watch it first, but yes, so she's going to spoil it for me. Well, Joe, thanks for having us here today.
Thank you.
Happy to have you guys here.
So I've never eaten here inside, but we order lunch very often for our staff at Rabs. And we love the food.
Thank you.
Very different. And since day one, Nazareth, I think, is the one that turned us on. She's like, because she
Yeah.
comes this way from home and says, you gotta check out this place. You're driving by. I was like, that looks really cool. I love the inside. We're just talking. So tell us, what's going on here?
And by the way, the pizza is excellent.
Thank
Really,
you.
really good.
So it's actually a fresco pizza. It's a little light for the summertime. One small, actually. Smoked mozzarella on the bottom, fresh mozzarella, some oregano, and a roasted garlic oil. And then on top, we top with arugula, wasabi with chips, grape tomatoes, and cheese mushrooms.
Nice and simple.
You have a lot of sweet. Taste the garlic. Very, very good.
That's important.
What's
Garlic.
that?
You're from Staten Island. Everybody, it's got to have garlic.
Yes, definitely. Anything. Garlic
Well,
garlic and
with
bacon make the
everything.
world go around.
So how long have you been here?
Coming up on 6 years in October.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, feels like yesterday.
Feels like yesterday, and then bam, we were all of a sudden in a
Yeah,
pandemic.
pandemic, yes.
And so during this time, you've been creative. You've been takeout, delivery.
Takeout delivery. I mean, we always had takeout delivery, so it was an easy transition for us. Even more so, it actually helped ramp up the delivery and takeout business even more so.
That's great.
He did a meal service.
Yeah, so I also have a meal prep company. It's called Jay's Meal Prep.
Okay.
It's all healthy prepared meals. It's not only for people that are looking to stay fit or diet. It's also generated around people that have busy work schedules. Work late hours, get home, you order out most of the time. Most of the stuff that you order out is
Jazz and I know nothing about that.
I'm already filling out my subscription.
This figure is a result of leaving late, and because I would leave late, and I would go somewhere to eat versus going home. Because what happens to your point? Like, what happens when you go home and you eat late? You eat junk. So if you have something already prepared for you,
correct. So I would think is that we're not only selling you good, healthy food, is that we're also selling you the most precious commodity in life, which is time. Typically, the average person spends like 5 to 10 hours weekly shopping, prepping, and cooking.
Sure, right.
Now more so than ever, usually both parents are working these days. So that extra time is family time.
Yeah, and it's pricey, right?
so we all know that, right? Especially now, I think everybody has more of appreciation for one's personal time than ever before, especially in the last 4 months. So we were a few weeks ago. We were headed over to, I think it was Blue, and we saw you building the. I think it was the day you started building the platform in the street. So how's that been going?
So it's been going relatively well. I was actually surprised. I thought people were not going to be. I thought they were going to be hesitant to sit in the street.
Sure.
But they haven't been.
I've seen it out there.
As long as we don't we have sunny nice days, it's easy to see people out there. We actually had it covered last week. The wind rainstorm that we had on Wednesday night just took everything down. The poles bent. We were out in the rain, like disconnecting the lights.
Take everything down.
Trying to salvage what was left of it. So we're rethinking exactly what
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
We saw a lot. Sadly, we saw a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, also so the city regulations were 36 inches high. We went 48. We wanted to give people a little bit more privacy and alleviate the stress of the cars passing by and being in their faces. Yeah. So if you're sitting down at the table, unless you're like 6'5" or better, you're not going to see the cars passing by. You might see the roofs, the top of the cars. We also filled in the walls a little bit heavier than what was regulated, just to give it a little extra stability, just building in case that something crashes here.
Don't even say it. Well, I do believe
thought.
some people are hesitant to want to sit in the street, especially a very busy street.
Yeah.
I mean, right
And
past
Main
the
Street is
right past the turn. I mean, it's a busy spot, but it looks like it's holding up well. Besides the fact that the excuse me, the
and if anything, it's a big billboard.
yeah,
Correct. That's correct.
yeah.
I
But
think that's how a lot of people are looking at it. Also, do you know there's a curfew?
So we have this little restaurant alliance group that we've been chatting in the restaurants in Staten Island. Well, not most. And there's new rules and regulations popping up every day.
It's not new.
Oh no!
That's
Well,
been around.
new to me
They just
because
started enforcing it.
I
They
actually
weren't
just got
enforcing
an email yesterday. As we were speaking about it, the email came through. So new to us, I should say. Maybe not new to the
So
city.
what's the curfew?
11 p.m.
Until 8 a.m.
Yes. So
Really?
they don't want any business opening up before 8 a.m. and not later than 11 p.m. at
Can you
night.
imagine? That's just
But
crazy.
I heard that if private property is a different story. I think it's more the street.
So if you
Oh,
have
so
the-
you can
Like me back here with the SLA, I have all
I got
through
you.
midnight as far as acoustic music and serving. But again, I could be wrong with that as well.
Well, maybe I think some of it does have to do with the sound ordinances, like being in the street, being. I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on where your business is too. If you're not around residential, it's not so bad. But you don't. Yeah, but if I lived here, I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel. But 11 o'clock.
It's reasonable, but still.
Well, right here on Bay Street itself is very mixed use. So there's some residential, but mostly commercial. The side blocks are residential, obviously.
Right.
But Bay Street itself is mixed use.
And now the diners, a bunch of the diners have been doing outdoor dining. So 8 a.m. That's actually late for a diner to get started. Although I don't know in this environment how many people have been going to the diner that early, if they even tried. But most of the diners really are using sidewalks. They're using parking
A lot of
lots.
them are using the parking lot.
And I think a lot of people have changed their patterns. I know.
Of running their
Oh my
business.
God, people's patterns. No, yes, running business patterns, but even personal patterns.
Oh yeah.
Whether you're working or not working, even if you're retired.
I mean, being up later.
A lot of our seniors that have expressed that are retired, they just don't know what to do.
Really?
For me personally, by the time we close up at 8 right now, before the pandemic hours, weekend hours were Thursday through Saturday to 10 p.m. Right now it's just 8 p.m. flat, but I don't ever get out of here before like 9:30, 10 o'clock anyway.
Right.
So when I'm going home, it's pretty desolate. There's really nobody out on the street. Whereas before the pandemic, on the weekend especially, you would see people, on the street, in front of restaurants, in front of bars. Obviously, in front of bars, you're not going to see anybody right now. So you can't really come and see everyone out there. You can't do that.
You can hide people back here.
Like a nice little oasis back here.
Yeah, this is really cool.
It's funny you said that because when I was first doing back here 2 years ago, the whole speakeasy thing is what I was trying to go for, like retro in the front of the restaurant, and then you walk into
That's nice back there.
this new modern backyard.
Did you always have this closed?
No, this actually I did this past September.
Oh wow, perfect timing.
It came in clutch for the winter, so it was a good investment.
And this fully encloses.
Fully encloses, and in the summertime, panels come down and it's fully open.
That's great. Talk about your menu. Your inspiration for your menu. I mean, because you're all over the place, right? You got all different things. Very eclectic. It's awesome. I mean, I haven't had anything bad. I mean, everything's awesome. So
That's
Can I
refreshing.
serve you a second?
that's for sure.
As far as the menu, obviously I come from an Italian Sicilian background, so growing up, it was my comfort food, but it was what I was used to seeing and eating my entire life. So it actually got a little boring as I got older. And when I went to culinary school and I got out, I started working in primarily American style restaurants. So when I decided that I was going to open up my own place, I did not want to just stick to my roots. Even though sometimes you'll find some stuff that are coherent with my roots, like on our special menu or sometimes even on our regular menu. But and Staten Island also is like very Italian oriented. It's
No.
I didn't notice that.
Pam doesn't write about that ever.
The majority of the restaurants on Staten Island are either Chinese, Japanese, or Italian. So when I was coming up with the concept of Jay's, I did not want to go that route. It was so saturated, and
Andrew.
again, like I said, it was boring for me. So, and the space itself, was a luncheonette for well over 80 years. Yes, Nick's luncheonette.
Oh, you remember that? Wow.
My husband used to drive his truck. He used to work at County Terminal.
Oh, wow.
And we used to come here. We used to pass here every day. One of the first dates we went on was at Nick's luncheonette.
Get out of here.
And his
Check that out. Did you know that? Did you know that?
On the door. He used to hang on the wall. Yep.
So, being that it was a luncheonette years with diner, but again, I come from a fine dining background, so I wanted to just put a twist on good classic American diner food and elevate it.
Oh, it definitely is. I mean,
So that's what the whole concept was when I was putting the menu out.
Wonderful.
so was it because producing that kind of menu out of the available kitchen space must be a little bit of a challenge?
It's a major challenge.
If you've been here, you should see. And you think about it. Talk about luncheonette diner.
Yeah.
It's a diner with countertop diner,
Yes.
right? So it's countertop diner.
Yes.
Your kitchen is you see
It's like
everything.
4x4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
that's gonna be a
It's a
challenge.
great way.
Great White is also a pizza.
Oh.
So yes, I do. So before I go and produce that, Great White is take on the classic white pie. So I figured white, came up with the name Great White. So it's got a blend of the base is a gorgonzola cream sauce. Then we add smoked mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, Parmigiano Reggiano, and ricotta cheese. And then when it comes out, we top it with a little bit of fresh arugula and a truffle honey reduction.
Oh, wow. And I want to point out that you only use Leone cheese,
Yes,
right?
I only use Leone's mozzarella cheese.
Okay.
All my cheese comes from Leone.
So the challenge of creating
creating it out of this kitchen, it's a major challenge. Being that I have some fine dining and high-end or high-volume kitchen experience, I was able to maximize my space out of the kitchen. And you know, I'm actually 6 years later, I'm still learning, and I'm actually learning from some of my guys in my kitchen things that I never, you know, knew. Definitely. They teach me something new every day, like different techniques of things. Yeah, I've been doing this almost 20 years since I was a teenager. I'm 34 years old, so I was about like 13, 14 working in kitchens. But my thing is I don't ever stop learning, and it would be foolish for someone to say 20 years, 30 years into any profession that they've mastered their profession.
Oh, so true. Well, you're also the creative one.
Yes.
So being creative, you're not looking at, okay, how do we actually have to do this? Where these guys are doing it probably more than you are.
Right,
So they figured out the way to get there faster.
Yeah, like I'll come
Without
up with the
compromise.
concept of the dish,
Just
and
figure out how to
they're
do this
actually
stuff.
mastering it on a daily basis.
How did you do that so fast? Well, if you do this, and that's being it's just learning. I think people that I know that are cooks, chefs, they learn a lot from the prep guys.
Yes.
And gals. So they're prepping that you can do so much.
Yeah,
And
and
then
Most important
without
position
them,
in a restaurant
right?
is the prep and dishwasher.
Yeah, and I think that most businesses are like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have good processes in place to be able to produce a good
That
end
end
product in a timely fashion. So yeah, process is super important. But yeah.
So, and Jay's is here at the bottom of Highland Boulevard and Bay
Just
Street.
gonna step away and make that pie.
The great mic. Yeah. So Pam gave him up. Move over. Pam gave him up for a moment. One of the waitresses came over with a sign that says "Need a great white." She didn't want to interrupt him.
Yeah.
This is different and delicious.
Very, very good.
I love the smoked mozzarella on the bottom.
I like
Pardon my reach.
I mean, no, reach away.
I could have served it.
Even from the time when they first opened, the menu was so different than anything that I had ever seen at any other place. It was like an upscale kind of luncheonette menu, casual food, but
Fun stuff too.
with different twists on everything. Yeah.
Like you see almost like when you watch Food Network and you see these burgers come out and they're like this big and they do all these crazy things with
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
He's got a mix of that.
Yeah.
And the shakes. He's got frozen drinks and shakes, which are a thing for him. Which I was tempted. I almost got one. I ate like a pig the last few days. There was no shaking for me.
So some of the pies are, there's, reading right off the menu, there's classic margarita, the hangover, which we'll do more about, I'm sure. Angry lobster, which is, it's got lobster on it. All these pizzas are $10 on Friday and Saturday night. If you dine in, you get a bottle of wine at half price on Fridays and Saturdays only.
Oh.
And it's kind of like a good deal.
That's a good deal.
You know what? I was thinking a lot, and just to wait for Joe to come back, because right now he's making pizza. I was missing the restaurant business in the 1970s and 80s. I don't think we'll ever see that era again.
Oh.
The two martini lunch. And,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean?
Like the boozing lunch.
Yeah, like
True.
hustle and like expensive pounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then I
Oh
was
yeah,
thinking
that's
a lot
very
about
different.
this. It's going forward, but after the pandemic, I think we're going to only see casual restaurants.
You see, that's been changing for a long time. I mean, slowly but surely, because our habits have changed. Our working habits have changed.
Right.
To leave work and go for a booze lunch. Yes, I think it does exist on occasion,
But
but it's
not
not like
to-
every
not-
day, a new client out every day. Now, I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I truly
Well,
experienced
I
that old.
think I started to see where a lot of that was clients hosting or taking people out to lunch, where that has kind of evolved into maybe a vendor sending it directly to the grocery store.
Right.
And so you started to see that more and more and more. And, people's time is valuable. That, those were sometimes hours away from the business. And, there was sometimes.
Well, sometimes it is nice to be able to do that.
Oh, it's always.
We've been enjoying this every Thursday for the last so many weeks.
When we get back to work, do you think this is going to be happening?
Sadly, no.
It won't.
We'd like to think it could.
We can make it happen.
We could. Well, and that's no different than my dad was a member of the South Shore Rotary Club. They were a lunch club.
Yeah.
And when the time came when I was looking around and talking to people about joining Rotary, our friends at South Shore said, "Come and join." And I said, "I'd love to." And I love the people, but
getting away
at lunchtime, I was like, my father loved it, but he also would go have a few drinks, enjoy with his friends, but he would come back to work for a little while. But he was also an early bird, so he would get up and then leave. So he would go and then maybe go back to work for a little bit, pick us up from school. I couldn't to go leave in the middle of the day like that, which that's as not busy as it is. It's kind of the end of the morning shift. It's a difficult time. Even me leaving at 6:30 on Thursday nights is difficult for us as our customers are walking through the door. But if you work in the office environment, I think to your point, I think people are doing more of the order in, send clients lunch. That I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
So I know you probably addressed this before on the show, but when are you getting back?
We don't have any clue. we don't have any. Well, we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it together, but it's a challenge. It's a very big challenge. If anybody saw, Joe DeModio did write an article this past week, and so thank you, Joe, for putting some light on it. And it's not just our business.
Yeah. There are other bowling centers that I believe are also getting some local press too. That's helping get the word out around the state.
So we talked about this at the beginning of the week. There was this concerted effort from our trade association, the New York State Bowling Pride Association. We've been holding press conferences throughout the state. Is that right?
No, they just turned it down.
We're holding press conferences throughout the state. So there's one today, Kingpins Alley upstate, South Glens Falls area. And just to get the word out, and I have to say our elected officials have all been supportive throughout the state.
Yeah, locally.
But it's getting to the right people in the governor's office. And so we understand they're looking at us like a gathering. And we're a social community gathering place. However, the difference between us and other box businesses, we have plenty of room to properly physical distance, and we can be safe and clean.
And a lot of the clients have their own equipment, so there's no sharing of community equipment. So
I've always found Rabs to be the cleanest bowling alley. I guess it almost seemed like you guys were a little germophobic.
Well,
that's somewhat accurate. Yeah, but nobody wants to go to a dirty place. Nobody wants to be around in a dirty environment. The bathrooms are one of our biggest pet peeves forever. Who wants to go to a dirty bathroom? So that's one of the things that, you have to keep a clean environment, keep people wanting to come back. It's part of the experience. Being one of the last ones standing, I think that says a lot for what we've done over there, and learned a lot from my parents, and we just operate in the same fashion, so to speak, just in a new environment. It's challenging, but we have zero guidance. We just want some sort of timetable. If the governor said tomorrow, hey, you're not going to be able to open till January, I hate to even say that, then at least we have some understanding, or tell me September. There's nothing. They're not talking about it. Although, in an article the other day that was shared, he did mention bowling alleys. It came out of his mouth, so he's thinking about us, which means that he's either receiving the letters that you're all writing,
or the pins,
and the bowling pins that are being sent to the governor's office. We have people throughout the state sending bowling pins through the governor's office. Jim Russo, and I talked about this on the show. We were in Ithaca a couple weeks ago. And we had this our association meeting, and tongue in cheek, I brought up to defeat the sales tax. We had bowlers sign little cards, and we shipped them off in boxes to the state legislatures, and all their offices got hit with these boxes. Well, we can't really do that now because we can't really have people aren't around. So the idea, I said, why don't we just send bowling pins to the governor's office? At the same time, the larger idea was a video campaign to get people to write the governor's office. And which is great. Well, that's happening. A video has been created that's going to go out in the social media channels to say how bowling centers are safe environments. But at the same time, they hung on this, let's send bowling pins
They
to
love that idea.
the governor. And so all week long, so our friend Jim Russo up in Western New York, he actually camped out in the back of bowling center and was having people pick up bowling pins to send out. And they're sending several a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, to annoy the crap out of them. So we're hoping that when you see Mount Marcy, there'll be bowling pins underneath, and he's going to mention it and be annoyed at us for sending in the bowling pins. But we did send we sent a case of brand new bowling pins to him.
Wow.
So with a little note. Yeah, I mean it is what it is. But we need to be top of mind. We need for you to be thinking about us.
Yeah.
We are really left in the dark. We're in the same boat as movie theaters, malls.
The mall, I can't believe the mall is not open. That is like.
And they're talking about HVAC systems, and they've given a little guidance in the beginning part of phase 4 for low risk indoor entertainment. But that doesn't apply to us because we've been labeled as high risk. So we don't even know what they're going to expect of us. Now, the good thing is we collectively have put together some, no different than what the restaurant group did. Hey, these are the guidelines. This is our plan. We've done the same thing. And hopefully the right people see it and know that we can do it. So, we're just patiently waiting. He's not doing the daily press conferences every day. So he's been coming on a couple times a week in the last few weeks. So we're hoping the next time he comes on, he mentions us. But we need a clear picture. Our facilities are too big to be shut down. We employ way too many people.
And many independent businesses also within a lot of bowling centers. My business is in the bowling center. How many of them have concessions inside the bowling center? So it affects other businesses. It's critical.
It's really a shame.
And it's different than the restaurant because it not only affects you, it affects the meat guy, and the same thing for us.
All your vendors.
But we need to have an understanding of what do you want for indoor amusement? When are you going to sit? What do you want from us? And how can we get there to be able to open safely? Listen, I got a 40,000 square foot building just sitting vacant, and I can't really generate any funds. I can generate a little money, but it's not paying the bills. So we have to make. We've come up with a bunch of ideas at the same point. And not to snub your nose at a couple $1,000s, but that's not going to pay any bills. What is that going to do for us? It'll pay a couple bills, but you need something that's going to have an impact, and it's very difficult for us to sustain. And so, again, give us an idea. We could plan for that.
Correct.
So right now, we're just sitting. We're sitting duck.
At least it's forward movement, and we've been in limbo for months.
So what I tell people, they know what we know. We don't get any additional information. Now, the Hospitality Alliance has been great. The Chamber has been great every day with emails and different information. SIEDC providing as much information and help and assistance along the way. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You want to keep these businesses closed, but then you have to pay us to be closed. That's the only way it's going to work.
Or offer relief programs.
And so
relief, which is
there's sometimes
tax is a major one.
Property taxes
I want
alone.
you to sit here.
The property taxes alone are the biggest issue. And I'm not looking for a freebie.
Correct.
Just give me some agency to get there. Give me options. And that's just, sadly, it's not happening. And again, we're not the only ones. Restaurants are in the same boat, and other large facilities. Listen, museums and zoos. Now the zoo is finally open, but at the same time, is the experience going to be the same? What does that look like? And we're going to be going through this for at least a year.
So the thing is, at least once you open, once you're given the opportunity to open, you know what you're dealing with, and then you can deal. Then
We can figure it out.
Then you can figure it out from there.
Yeah.
This works. This doesn't. We need to do this. This isn't working at all. So at least you can formulate something. But right now.
So to answer your question, we don't know, Pam.
At this point, it's just a big hole that's being dug.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
even once they say, all right, go ahead and open it, how do you get yourself out of this
Oh
hole?
yeah, the
Because
start's coming in.
It's not going to be 100%. Your revenue is going to be, you have to plan for your revenue stream to be decreased at whatever percentage. I've got some great numbers from friends in our industry, and it's also alarming at the same time. There are people not going to come dining. There are people that are not going to go out bowling. And I'm not going to cater to that.
Well, they're worried about
Because they're not coming out no matter what I do.
Exactly.
No matter what I do, I could put bubble around everybody and they ain't coming out. And that's fine. At the same time, are our businesses designed to be operated at 50%, 25%? Absolutely not. But it is better than nothing. And to your point, we can at least, when we get there, we can at least say we need to do the
Try to
X, Y,
figure
or Z.
something out.
It's so hard. We're just taking spaghetti and throwing it against the
I can't speak
refrigerator.
for your business, but for my business, we operate in a very small
Same
profit
thing.
margin.
Yeah.
So at 50% with 100% of the overhead, you know,
Exactly.
it goes back to that hole that's constantly getting deeper and
Yeah.
deeper. It's
And
like,
we already know.
when are you going to see the light of day?
Van Nest isn't reopening.
Yeah, so one of the true old school bowling alleys in New York have closed this week. So it's in Flushing.
No, they're in the. Is it Van Nest in the Bronx?
The Bronx.
Was this announced somewhere?
Van Nest Lane's in the Bronx. True, like when they're looking to film movies and they're looking for old school
That's
bowling
where
alleys,
they go.
we send them there all the time because they walk in. Oh, this is too modern for what we're looking for because they're doing a movie set in the 60s, 70s.
They
they're
want,
like-
and everybody wants to see that vintage
Yeah.
bowling alleys.
the place has been for sale. It's not new. He's been trying to get out.
Right.
You know, trying to retire and sell it. And this truly put the nail in the coffin. New York State lost 2 bowling centers, I think, in the last week or so,
And the problem,
and it's only going to grow.
the bad part about Zion is, at least when he was trying to sell, he had a sellable product.
Yeah, exactly. He has
Now,
something to sell. Now you have
he's
nothing to sell.
totally, he has nothing. Now,
He's got a movie set. Yeah, and he doesn't even know. And he doesn't know. He's trying to sell the business. He's a leased business. So and that makes it even tougher for all of us. We're in the
right, he doesn't even have the property that you can sell.
Yeah, especially when you dump your entire life into something, thinking that you're building some sort of a retirement plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very easy. People look at you. You own a business, right?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody thinks,
Joe's set for life. Yeah. Right. We know
That's
this.
just human nature, but
And it's a shame. Okay, so back to you and back to the food here. One before Pam's gonna zip out, but Pam, this week on the restaurant scene, any major shifting? Any new openings?
there's some
Anything?
shifting going on here, I think.
Yes, sorry, we have to kind of share spots. So, basically, there's a lot of concern over rules that people didn't know were in place. Primarily, the curfew that's like starting to gnaw at people. And a reminder went out from the Department of Transportation a couple of days ago, like at 11 at night, saying this is the deal. There's this curfew, so that's an issue. I am going on vacation for 2 weeks from the Staten in advance. So
nice.
Well deserved.
last day.
Vacation, not furlough. So you
Oh,
had
yes.
furlough
No
time.
furlough.
And now you're doing your vacation.
Yes. So, anyway, I'm going to sign off. It was good to see you. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Pam will be
Pam,
back
for
when
having
she's back
us.
from vacation. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks,
All right.
Pam.
Thank you
Always
very
a
much.
pleasure.
Appreciate it.
The good thing is that if the restaurants can come together and make a voice, which
Thank you
is
very much.
the good thing, I think what we've done here that's happened. At the same time, the challenge has to be nobody can take their reins now because everybody's open and running their own businesses. So now what happens?
The problem with everyone coming together and having a voice is they don't want you to have a voice. The minute you have a voice, they start to
I do.
send their inspectors around.
Right.
Right. So for me at least, I prefer to stay out of the limelight. It's an issue that we're all in and we're all dealing with. I'd rather not just create more.
Right, I don't want to be the
myself.
headline.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat.
Don't put the target on my
Contrary to popular belief, I don't love myself that much that I can be in the limelight.
Because it's not about you or I. It's about our business community and our community at large. And for us, we are truly a community gathering place.
Yes.
Shane is saying he's got to try Jay's. Heard it's amazing. I can't believe Shane hasn't been here. That cannot be true.
We've been waiting for Shane to come.
Shane, what are you waiting for?
Oh, I cannot believe that Shane hasn't been here of all places, since he's everywhere. Anywhere.
He is.
Although lately he's getting chased by cars and people yelling at him while he's out on the street, doing his thing. So, what's your favorite thing to cook that's on your menu? Like, when you get in there and then somebody orders something and you get excited to actually make it.
Honestly, I think it's probably the pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a job that I primarily grew up doing, so it's actually comforting and enjoyable. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love being in the kitchen, just not in the summertime.
But there are good and bad things that come with for sure.
I like to say that the restaurant business, at least for me, is a love-hate relationship. I've been doing it my entire life. I've stepped away a few times, but every time I end up back in the kitchen.
Just when you think you're out?
Yeah, so as much as there's stress in this business and constant hurdles that you have to overcome, to me there's something refreshing and satisfying from seeing my guests enjoy the food, the atmosphere, the whole experience.
When we come for breakfast, a lot of times we see the military here.
Yes, military,
And,
Coast Guards, they are big supporters. I mean, the fort's right down the block, literally. So, they're
And it's kind of like a meeting place for them. I mean,
yes.
One morning we came in, it was a big group. They had like 3 tables together. And I was like, oh, it's a hangout. I
like
get this.
the platoon comes and takes over.
yeah. Actually, we bought them breakfast. And it was so nice because they came over. Like 5 of them came over and they gave us patches, as like a thank you.
I gotta be honest, it happens very often.
I was
here,
gonna say,
and people always pick up the check without them knowing, and it's
well,
nice.
now you know why they come.
They're not going to stop coming. So, military friends, if you want a free meal on the
But,
weekend,
they actually deserve it, and they deserve
Right.
a lot more than
And
that.
that's
So,
sure.
It's
It's the least you could do.
yes.
Right, it's a neighborhood kind of saying thank you.
Yes.
And that's what we kind of like coming here.
It's actually it's what we need more of, not in the aspect of picking up someone's check, but just in the aspect
Some
of
of the
treating us.
appreciation and respect.
Yeah.
We say it all the time. You see someone wearing their hat, you know they've served. The least you could do is say thank you.
Yeah.
And they truly appreciate it. They know that that's coming from someplace that's genuine.
They appreciate it. They're very humble about it, and most of the time they're not looking for that at all.
So pizza's your favorite thing to make?
What's your favorite thing to eat?
My favorite thing to eat, like out of my place or in general?
No, in your place.
I would probably say the chicken and waffle.
Oh,
Yeah.
how could you go bad?
I mean, bacon, onion jam, a waffle, fried chicken, cheddar cheese, chipotle mayo.
That's a heart attack happening.
It's a good hangover dish.
With a Bloody Mary.
Yes. With a Bloody Mary.
And so what's the most popular item on the menu?
Probably the chicken and waffle. Chicken and waffle, or so I mean, obviously for different parts of the day, different lunch menu, breakfast menu. There's different ones. I would say for breakfast, the Jay's bacon, egg, and cheese, which is how we take on the bacon, egg, and cheese. It's basically open faced bacon, egg, and cheese. So it's on the bed of fried spinach. Then we have 2 pieces of crostini.
That's up my alley.
Literally fried in bacon fat. And then it's layered with crispy apple smoked bacon, 2 sunny-side up eggs, and cheddar cheese.
Come on, really?
So for breakfast, I would say that's our most common popular dish. Lunch, either chicken and waffle or the Asian steak sandwich. Asian steak sandwich, the lobster roll is pretty popular. So,
Right. So if you're eating from Jay's,
30 pounds of lobster meat a week.
what's your favorite menu item? So if you've eaten here, what's your favorite menu item? Maria Romagnolo is telling us that she loves the tuna fish sandwich. What makes the tuna fish sandwich special?
It's an Asian twist. So one of the restaurants I worked in was All Meats, and the head chef was an Asian chef, and he was an American restaurant, but he brought a lot of Asian flavors into the menu. So I picked up on a lot of Asian flavors working with him, and so it's mayo based, but not a lot of mayo. Sesame oil, cucumber, and celery seed. So it's very simple, basic. Lemon juice, and that's really it. I'm sorry, you said Angela?
No, Maria.
Maria.
She's in Florida.
Oh, thank God, Maria. We actually just took that off the menu. We were switching things up before the pandemic. We were switching up the menu, and we actually pulled the trigger on a lot of the new dinner items that we had, that we were going to start to implement. We had a whole grilled cheese section that was coming out. Then the pandemic happened, frittata section, and we just decided to step back.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you don't listen. You have to. A lot of we've been talking with the different restaurant owners the last few weeks. You've scaled back your menus for different reasons.
Correct.
Costs, not being. Listen, you're not going.
Cost, not the same amount of employees working behind the line to minimize the menu to make their lives work and have the flow of the day continue to progress without actually interrupting business and making anybody unhappy because they're eating.
Right. Right.
But I gotta be honest, actually, during the pandemic, people were actually very, very patient with their deliveries. Usually, during normal circumstances, if lunch is not there within a half hour, 45 minutes, you're getting a million phone calls. But throughout the pandemic, everyone's been super patient and understanding. So it's actually nice.
Can we hope that stays?
Yes. I don't want to say it. I was
We
thinking
talk
it in the
about
back
this
of my
all the
mind.
time, and so people have gotten patient. I mean, there are people that are impatient that'll always be impatient.
Impatient, yes.
At the same time, we've seen that even on the only issue that I have on the roads, people just have no regard for the road. Like, so they're truly very patient. They're just going everywhere they want to go. It's not even that they're impatient. They just, they'll do whatever I want.
Well, in the beginning of the pandemic, no one was
There was
really
nobody
out, so
out.
you can literally do whatever you want.
And they're still doing it now. That other people are back on the road. But it's so true. Like, people, just in general, our behaviors have all changed. Knowing, they probably don't have a lot of staff. Okay, no problem. We'll give them a pass. And just hearing that from all across the board. Now, when we come out of this, hopefully, like I said, it stays.
Yeah, let's hope. So you've got some changes coming up, huh?
Yes, we're going to actually shut down at the end of the summer. We're going to do some renovations. It's been a long time coming. When I first took over the space, I actually own the property. Me and my mother are partners in the property. Initially, when we purchased the property, the idea was to open up a more fine dining restaurant. But being that I invested my entire life savings to buy the property, I didn't have the money for a remodel. Then the couple that were here, their lease was up about 3 or 4 years after we bought the property. They wanted to renew their lease for like 15 years and couldn't come to an understanding, so they decided to leave. So that left me with really no options. It was either take over the space and run it or rent it to someone who is going to be looking for at least 10-year lease.
Right.
So I didn't want to put myself in that position because 10 years from that point would have put me well into my 30s, and I don't want to start building restaurants into my 30s and dealing with that. So I took the space over. I came up with the J's concept because I wanted to do something very different that Staten Island did not really have at that time. So that's the route I went. And after the first year, it just became like this fast-moving train. And it's like, when do you stop this train to do these renovations? So the real spark for the renovations is the building is over 100 years old. Plumbing electric is pretty much original. From what we can find from public record, the last time anything was touched here was in the 30s.
Wow.
So that's how old everything is. So I've been putting Band-Aids over electric and plumbing for the last 4 years.
No, I don't believe that at all.
I've estimated I probably spend a good 10 to 15,000 in repairs a year on the low end of plumbing and electric.
Right.
So over the course of 4 or 5 years, you're talking about close to like $80,000.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when do I really shut down to do this? 2 summers ago, we spent the money back here to do the yard. We needed the extra seating. People didn't want to wait out in the hot heat. In the summertime, in the wintertime, they didn't want to wait out in the cold. So we made the investment back here. Now, I'm like, it's got to get done. Being that we're in pandemic, we lost a good part of our business. I would say probably 65% of our business was dining business. So being that we lost that, this is the best time to do it. But we're going to be working remotely, satellite. I have a kitchen on Castleton Avenue, which is my kitchen for my meal prep company. So we're just going to consolidate everything while the construction's going
So you're
on.
gonna do takeout?
We're going to go back to takeout and delivery model.
Oh, okay.
They're estimating about 2 to 3 months to get the repairs.
So most people might not even know unless they were truly dining in, which is good.
And I'm going to be honest, I hope I'm being, well, I like to be optimistic, but I hope that I'm not right, but I have a feeling that phase 3, we were supposed to go back to 50% inside dining.
So maybe
That
that's
got
timing
closed
it
off. Then phase 4 happened. There
Still
was no
no
discussion at all about it.
And they added it, October 31st.
Correct. So then they extended that. So,
You said
against my
That's the
better
date that
judgment,
scares me now.
against my better judgment, I think we're going back to takeout and delivery on October 31st. I hope
Because then the wintertime comes, and then that's going to be the other challenge. And if you don't
Correct.
have
how do you
this, then
see
you can't
people out in the cold?
Right.
Yes, can you do freestanding heaters? It's uncomfortable. No
It
matter
depends
how
on the
you try it.
business.
Correct. Any way you put it, it's going to be uncomfortable. So even if they allow you to do that, you're going to see people less because they're not going to go. You're not going to want to dine out with a heater over you.
Right.
So I have this feeling it's all back in that direction. I hope I'm wrong.
We hope so
Only
too.
because, yes, I'm closing for renovations, but there's all these other places on.
So one could argue you had the
that.
perfect opportunity in the beginning of the pandemic to go into it. But it's different because then maybe you didn't have the funds, or now these loans. Like I have friends who've done both. Beginning of this, they were supposed to shut down in the summertime and said, you know what? We have the money, let's do it.
Yeah.
But then if they didn't have the money, they couldn't do it. And that's us in our boat.
Yeah, they get stuck.
I would have loved to have done some work, true work on the boat instead of we didn't have the access to the cash.
So for me, I was on the fence about it. But what had happened was, being that, like I said, we had to take out and delivery business to begin with. The minute they mandated us to shut indoor dining, a lot of places on their own just went and closed.
Right.
So what had happened was we had.
You already had a foothold in there.
Correct. So let's say I had 45% of my business was takeout and delivery.
Right.
Being that all these places just shut their doors all at once, we went up from like 45% to like 65, 70% takeout and delivery.
Right.
So at that point, it's like, okay, I can kind of sustain. So let me just work through this, because is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? Is it a month?
Yeah.
No one knew.
Yeah.
But then as time went on, I just,
We're still sitting down.
what is it, 6 months now, 7 months
As
now?
time went on.
As
Time went on.
As time went we say it all the time. As time went on, here we are, episode 112. Where we thought we'd be doing this for 30 or 40 days.
So, and then it came to the point where they started talking about outside dining, and at that point I'm saying to myself, you know what? I want to do it regardless, but I'm gonna ride out the summer, since they're gonna allow me to open up my outside area, and just ride it out and try to recoup,
To the best of your ability.
Correct. And because at the end of the day, in a little small place, I had 10, 15 employees before the pandemic. Count my delivery drivers, I'm over 20. And most of the people have families.
Yeah.
No.
So for me, it would have been very easy. I could have closed my doors and lived off my savings.
But how long?
I thought about
Does that
it.
make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense, but for me, it would have been at least home with my family, enjoying my daughter that is 2 years old, and spending some time with her, and not having the stress of.
You're going to have the stress anyway, though.
Right.
Yeah, I
So you'll be
at
home.
least the doors
Just a different-
at least, different kind of stress.
And your daughter's not going to which is too.
No, but it's
It's
hard
so true.
to get time
No, without a doubt.
during normal
Right.
circumstances.
So now, like somebody like me, all these people who have all this time at home with their family, your situation almost probably went the other way.
It did. I'm here even more than I was,
Right.
with wearing even more hats than I was.
Correct.
And just really doing it so that the employees who have families can support their own families. Because I'm just slowly to go for my savings. I'm not paying them right now.
Let me tell you, what am I going to, we have this conversation all the time, what am I going to pay myself? I'm going to pay myself my own money from at a point where,
Right.
am I making it? Can I just invest in my business? Am I able to live off some savings? And some people aren't in that. it's crazy because some people truly aren't in that position, which makes it very difficult. And so where do you turn? And this week, for those that are collecting unemployment, now that the $600 zips away. Now, there's
That was a major struggle also, trying to get people to come back to work.
to make more money home.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to change this week.
Yeah.
And so hopefully there are several things on the table, and the common consensus from what I've been reading the last couple of days seems to be that they want to reward the right people,
Right.
and change the
Like
percentage
a
of it.
reward to go back to it.
Right. So the people that weren't working or not collecting anything were collecting too much. Now we'll collect it, which is good. But at the same time, people that truly cannot go back to it, that's what they have to get.
Yeah.
And then they need the business funding. Now there's supposed to be another round of PPP for those who have exhausted their funds. It sounds promising. There's a couple of things within. They just have to get to it. I mean, they have to just get together and make a decision.
Yeah. Right.
But there are some promising things. Is it the end all be all? No. But at the same time,
Nothing will they.
no.
really.
Until there's a vaccine. And so how long do we sit
And
like
even-
this? And how long could you sustain this model? Right. That's what's going on in all our heads.
Yeah.
How long could you sustain my business being at a 50% capacity, a 65% capacity, a revenue stream? I mean, not long.
Yeah.
You're just chopping out, and you're just paying bills.
Yeah.
I'm not in business to pay my bills. I'm in business to make money.
To make a living. Yeah.
And you have bills. You have bills. We all have bills.
Yep, we got bills, and they didn't stop coming.
Don't even get me started.
And they haven't changed. Right. But so your point, like,
So,
you wear
like,
local ads.
Not to cut you off, but summertime alone, and like I'm running AC for my employees right now, not even my guests.
Yeah.
And summertime costs me anywhere between $1,800 to $2,200
Yeah.
a month in AC and electricity.
We got out air conditioning's been running the whole time. We have no choice now.
Yeah.
Between the machines, the
Correct.
lights,
And that's the other factor is the refrigeration.
You
You
need
can turn it off. You can't turn it off.
Well, no, meaning
No, but
keeping the
you need-
refrigeration.
yeah.
Yeah, keeping it cool in there
Yeah.
to not mess with
well,
the refrigeration.
Right, the refrigeration's just gonna work harder.
Exactly. And being that my place is very small and the kitchen's open,
Right there.
all the heat, even though it's a small kitchen, we're talking about between the stove, the grill, the salad, the deep fryer, the convection, we're talking about 1,000 degrees of heat.
Yeah.
You know,
All
just
right on top of each other.
Yeah, it's a lot. And listen, we're not complaining. I mean, we could be complaining. We're
Yeah.
ranting.
Right.
We're ranting a little bit, but that's okay. But this is true. This is real life. This is what's happening around us. And so today it's you. Yesterday it was us. And it's going to continue to be. And it's the guy down the block that nobody has any clue who he is, but he's running his business and doing his thing, whether he's by himself or has staff and is able to operate. And their business like ours that truly cannot. You're talking about wearing multiple hats. We went from a staff of about almost 100 people to 2 people
Wow.
wearing hats, you know?
Yeah.
And then the stress alone
Well,
on
we got the other couple, they got hats.
they have hats too. But it's not the same. And we're
Yeah,
still
no, it's not
operating.
right.
I mean, there are plenty of things that need to get done and prepare, but what does it look like? We don't even, again, back to that, we don't know. We have no clue what we're preparing for. We're just like, again, we're throwing spaghetti at the refrigerator and
yeah,
like
like
just sliding
Like
to
we usually, under normal circumstances, have a brand new special menu that comes out every single week with anywhere from 8
Yeah.
to 12 items on it. And now that we have outdoor dining again, the number one question is, oh, there's no specials today? And it's like, I'm just trying to maintain what we have.
Yeah.
I would love to give you guys specials, but for me to bring in product
Right.
that I don't have on my
and then I keep
normal
buying it in
menu.
bulk because that's where I buy it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And take the chance of
But it
not
doesn't
turning it
sell.
over,
Right.
then I'm just losing even more money
Yeah.
throwing in the garbage.
Right.
So I can't do it.
Yeah.
Waste is, and that's the same thing across the board.
Yeah.
No different than restaurants who, you guys work towards a date of how the indoor dining, right? So indoor dining was supposed to come. You guys worked towards that. Some ordered probably more food than they probably maybe should have or whatever. And then all of a sudden what happens?
Yeah.
Waste. And you've got, I'm sure that during this, even as limited as you're operating,
It's still.
It's still waste.
Yeah, of course.
of course. Listen, no product is
Because
designed
every
to
day,
last a
every
very
day,
long time.
every day is a different day. There's a good day, and then there's a day that's
There's
extremely
always a
slow.
challenge, right?
And it's to me, it's what at the end of the week is what counts on Sunday. Monday doesn't count, Tuesday doesn't count. At the end of the week is what counts. But yeah, there's still waste no matter what.
You know what? You do it again. Back to do what you can, make the best of it. And I think we're all trying to do it to the best of our ability.
Yeah, like I was just
It's the
telling
land of the
the
unknown.
other day when we had a ISI live interview. Restaurants are affected, but every single business in the United States is affected in the world. It's everybody. Everybody's affected in a different way. and is taking it in a different way and handling it in a different way.
Oh, yeah. So Pam was going live every day from at 9 a.m. from her Facebook page, and now she's doing it, I believe, only on
Wednesdays.
Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. So if you've tuned into her daily, she's shifted. Now she's on vacation for a couple of weeks. She had somewhere to go, and she's heading right on vacation. She's ready to rock and roll. But Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. on Pam's Facebook page, you can catch her update. And she's been doing the same. She's going out and talking with the different restaurants.
Yeah.
So this has been fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy, although chicken waffles, no, there's no way I could have eaten chicken waffles. I think you and maybe Project Brunch are probably the only places that actually make that.
The chicken and waffle?
Yeah.
There's a couple, Craft House.
Oh, the
Yes.
Craft House.
Yeah. This is a little spicy.
What's Beans and Leaves? Maybe. They have a little like eclectic breakfasts.
They have a variety of different waffles.
But other than that, I don't think there's something that you don't see, which is cool.
Yeah, well, when I did it, I like to say I was the first one to bring it to Staten Island.
The first and the best.
Listen, the best, that's subjective. Food is subjective. Everybody feels different.
Yours is the best. Yours is mine is the best. That's how you sell your route.
I would definitely say I definitely pioneered it on Staten Island.
There it is.
To bring it on Staten Island.
Bam!
Because I do eat out a lot, and on Staten Island small, so when I'm coming up with dishes, I'm usually coming up with them because no one is doing them. Yeah.
And being in your line of work, going out to dinner has to be a challenge.
Yeah,
You look
it's
at
a
a
major
menu.
challenge. I try to do it as much as I can. It's usually the late dinners. I'm gonna be honest with you. Once dinner starts to slow down here, it's when it's like, all right, guys, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I run home, take a shower, grab my wife. Now that we have the baby, it's a little bit more difficult if we can't have a babysitter. But before that, yes, it was late night dinners. It was when I was off. Or midday lunches. When it's slow here, I'll shoot out. We'll meet somewhere and have lunch somewhere. But I do try to get out because it's for me at least. It's like it's research.
Yeah, exactly.
But you get it. I'm sure inspiration comes.
It's inspiration, and it's keeping current with what's going on in the food world.
Naz and I aren't typical diners either. When you're in business, you're always looking at every detail. All right, so how did he do that?
We text each
this?
other a lot while we're
Yeah, you got to see what they're doing here. Number one, and then she goes, I can't. Well, I've done this too. I can't believe they do that. Why would they do such a thing? That makes no sense. And it's funny. So this past week, we've been over to Crystal Springs just to get away with a bunch of us, friends and family. 23
Nice, right?
22
Yeah.
people. It was an adventure, but it really was great. And we had
And half of them kids, probably, right?
10 kids, 13 adults, I think, or something like that. And one of the things, he was sitting there in the pool, and they were operating at 50% capacity, and so, which is a wonderful thing, because I can't imagine if it was 100% capacity, how busy it would have been.
Yeah.
Don't go there on the weekends, I think is what I've learned through this. And they really have done a great job at adapting to this new world. But they were having this conversation, and they're having expectations. Like, we're on vacation, we can't do certain things. Hello? We're on vacation. This was the only place we could go during a pandemic. Well, I can't believe they wouldn't do something. They can't. Now put yourself in their shoes on why they do certain things.
Even the most basic thing as getting staff. People can't understand how difficult.
Well, here's the argument. We check out yesterday was 11:30, and so if you wanted to extend it to 1 o'clock, it was a $50 charge. Now that's only an hour and a half. I can argue both sides of that. They should just, why it's a big deal? But they can't let everybody extend their room because then they have to turn it over. Now at 50% capacity, they may not be using the same rooms and they're swapping.
They probably
But
should.
is it at 50% capacity of rooms?
Yeah, the whole facility's at 50%.
That's why they're sold out. I made a phone call the other day.
Oh yeah, no, they're they're booked.
Yeah.
We booked at the beginning of the month, and we were talking about getting the one big room, and so we had great rooms. But you can't have this expectation when you're operating at 50%.
Yeah.
$50 to stay an hour for an hour and a half. Well, the housekeeper's got to stay.
What it
So
costs
what's
them
cost
that
you?
hour and a half to run that operation for that extra hour and a half.
And I was like, you're in business, you should understand this. No, it doesn't matter. I want to be able to stay. they didn't kick us out. Now that they did say the only thing like now what's happening in many of these cases, normally you could stay the full day when you check
Yeah,
out.
like happy bags in
They
the
kind
car.
of told
yeah.
us no, but we did it anyway. They didn't. I mean, nobody. It was fine. It wasn't that big of a deal. But if they were busy, they probably would have looked at the list and said, "Wait, you guys checked out."
Because
Yeah.
because
They got
now
to control.
that affects their capacity.
Right. So, like the whole thing with the housekeeping, you don't realize that one room is staying till 1 o'clock. Now the housekeeper is going to stay later. And that was no. We should just be able to keep.
Yeah, I mean the other aspect to it is it's like what some of my older clients here, and neighborhood people come here every single day. They go through nothing, whatever. They want to sit inside. They're older. They can't really walk. You know, and as much as I want to let them sit inside, because it is harmless for one old man or old woman to just sit at the bar and have their cup of coffee.
Right.
You know,
Naz and I didn't say that. Old.
Well, you're usually calling me old.
but I can't take that chance of, God forbid, an inspector
No,
comes
you don't.
around, because at the end of the day, it's going to implement, it's going to affect my
You.
business.
Yeah.
Not only to the fine, but possibly closing the doors.
Yeah.
And now what? Because I wanted to be the nice
Because
person
you're a nice
that I
guy.
am.
And then your liquor license gets pulled first, and that's the work. You know,
Yeah.
we got through it all the time. Our seniors in the same boat. You know, our senior men's club had a tailgate meeting. They're getting together, but at least they can get together. But I can't. They go, oh, can I just get a cup of coffee inside? Oh, can I use the bed? Oh, I just want to get scratch offs. One, you just I don't.
Yeah.
It's,
Before you know it, you got 50
the allowing people in the buildings coming in and out is one thing, but it's the fact that you can't hang out, you can't sit down.
Correct.
And it's so hard to tell.
Like even
your regular
sometimes when people
customers
are waiting for their food, I get nervous because there's like 2 or 3 different people waiting for their food down there inside. And I'm like, oh, with my luck, they'll just walk in now. Like, what's going on over here?
Well, I mean, there are ways that.
Yeah, no.
I think the biggest leniency is listen. Restaurants are getting away with a lot of different things, and I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but some of them are getting away. But in the rain, I think that's the biggest exception. If it starts to rain and you really don't have true
We got no
covering,
control over that.
I think that's when some of them have gotten away the most. But to allow people to do certain things.
I did pick up a to-go order at a bar restaurant this week. And
Easy.
I'm not saying I would never say. Yeah, when I walked in, it was like any other day.
And they're cracking
And
down.
there's-
They've been.
People at the bar like it was a regular whatever now.
And I mean,
That's a
it's
big
just
risk.
selfish. It's selfish because again, we're all in the same boat, and nobody wants to follow these mandates and these rules. But it's just making not following them. It's just making it tougher on everybody.
You're making it
else.
even more difficult for businesses like ours that
Exactly.
aren't open. Now that's only going, and that is another concern of mine is that if we're going to continue to operate whatever you're doing, you're hurting the rest of the industries. So now we can't open because you're doing what you're doing. That's only going to make the governor go, well,
I'm not opening up the rest of these.
what's going to happen? What are they going to be doing?
Yeah.
Because now the focus is on handling all these people that are not doing what they're supposed to be doing instead of moving forward, which is what you would hope they would be doing. So
Go out, do what you can very safely. There are ways to do it. Some places are pushing the envelope, and you know what? I don't blame them. I don't, to an extent, I don't blame them. At the same time, there are ways to do it and do it.
Right.
I saw a restaurant with tables on top of each other, I'm like, and that's going to make people not want to go out, and that could have the reverse effect on the restaurant business because now they see this, they go, are all restaurants like this?
Yeah.
And we have to get out with everyday life. We have to.
The idea is to make it comfortable for people to come.
yeah, make them feel comfortable.
So there's plenty of space between tables. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tables back here.
Yes.
You have room to separate and make
Physically,
fours and you can only put up to 8 at a table, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
And that's another challenge, like we were going out. As we
Yeah,
go,
with big
"It's 20,
family.
what are you going to do?"
Yeah. What do you do?
I like this. We get the notes passed.
Yes.
It's like being in school.
It wasn't folded up though, like
No.
into a 100 tiny little.
And written really tiny. Really tiny.
So I'm just gonna step away.
Yes.
Hey, we're gonna. Thank you so much.
No problem.
No,
Having
thank
us.
you for having me. It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
having you guys. And goodbye, everyone.
He's got another. It looks like a great white pie. Is that what you're gonna do?
It is.
He's gonna make it a great white pie. we're a little uneven today. This is.
Yeah, we are. Well, I'm obviously shorter than you, and I'm sitting in the back. So
That was delicious.
it really, really was. I've never had the pie here.
I again, the grilled cheese and bacon. That looks really good.
I thought it was
Right?
real.
And pesto and avocado.
Pesto avocado. That looks delicious.
Bad.
That's something. I
Should
think
be coming
the
back.
last couple of times we got burgers. I don't think I had definitely had like chicken. That's like on the waffle. But I haven't had it.
Yeah.
But I just realized if you're behind us, is I'm actually going to show this off. I didn't think you said that before, but I'm put my back to it, but I'm going to show it off. So check it out. Joe's now going to make the pizza, and this is the back of the patio. So he's got a pizza. He's got a pizza oven and a small prep station. It's really cool. Check that out. And that's why now I picked up the whole pizza menu. I'm like, why is the pizza menu back there?
Right.
So, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, this is.
It's very comfortable.
This was different.
It's covered in case the weather gets inclement, like we kind of expected this afternoon.
Well, that's what he was saying. In the wintertime, this fully
Fully
encloses,
enclosed,
which we can't fully enclose anything right now. We have to have cross ventilation, which in some cases we don't really know what that means because they're
Right.
just saying different things.
Right. Which I've seen places with just the front open, and some of them are open. They might have a side door open.
That's
somewhere.
again. I think they're pushing the envelope. I think they shouldn't. I think if they have tables just in the front, that's one thing. But when you start seeing tables in the restaurant
Yeah.
going deep, I think it's a little too far. But hey, again, I don't blame them. They have to do what they have to do until somebody comes knocking. You could play dumb, and I think that's in a lot of cases that's what's happening. They're just playing. Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm so sorry. Whatever. Anyway, so we had pizza. Now with Joe. Pam, of course, it was Thursday now. I don't believe Pam will be with us next week. She's on vacation.
She goes somewhere wonderful, enjoy herself.
Yeah, I do too. I think they were looking to go to the shore. When she comes back.
They're good. Yes, maybe she's going to the beach. I forget where she said, but I hope she spent some quality time with her family. She had a super busy pandemic so far.
She has.
Writing articles and doing live streams and Facebooks and jotting around Staten Island.
And our friends at the Advance have been very creative.
Yeah.
During this time. Not only is Pam doing the live Facebook every morning, now it's only Wednesdays, but you see they're highlighting different restaurants that are open. Shane's out on the street. It feels like Shane's out on the street more often than he was before. Which has been cool. They're trying to deliver as much content, but it's a lot of video content. Which, hey, it's a great opportunity.
That's where the media is moving towards.
John, we were on vacation through yesterday, and here we are. We're back. Or the TikTok. We're not getting into that now.
What?
We're not getting into the TikTok now.
No, we're going to talk TikTok.
I have to say, the Mets have this 13-game stretch. I'm a little disappointed the last few nights.
Last night.
Last night was a little bit of a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Many chances to win that game last night.
Too many chances. And the Shane, I don't know if you really look at the schedules, we're talking about a 60-game schedule in this short time frame. They have this 13-game stretch. They're off one day, and then there's 17 games. And that's a lot. Yeah. When they're used to getting the weekend off or a travel day here and there, they are truly playing. So, and that's going to take a toll on all of them.
Yeah, last night they did bring up one of the points that I made earlier at one of the other games was you wonder how in a tight game where the players might draw on the energy from the crowd, not having a crowd is going to affect them.
Yeah, and
so
I don't really like. I'm standing by it. I don't like that type of noise. It sounds like static. It doesn't sound like normal.
Don't you think?
Yeah, agreed. The music. And in some cases, nobody wants to hear the announcers anyway. So if you're watching ESPN, you don't want to hear the announcers.
Well, did you see basketball, which is even weirder, has virtual fans? When you watch the game,
Yeah. Fox is the one that started that, I think.
oh, that weird.
It's weird.
That's
I was watching the women play last WNBA last night, and I have to say they did a nice job of the way that they've set up the court and the teams and separating people. It is weird. It is, but again, they're making the best of it.
Baseball may have a problem. The Marlins have already had, I believe, 12 players test positive.
Right, and they've canceled games for 2 weeks.
Yes. The Philadelphia had one or two staff test positive, so they are not playing any home games for the time being. And they just said that I saw earlier there were some, I don't know how many, but some players on the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, that had tested positive. So, listening to the sportscasters talk about what's going on with the Marlins, saying, one team, you can maybe kind of work around it, but if this starts to spread to another team or two teams possibly, it's going to be difficult.
It'll create another problem. Yeah, without doubt.
It's going to be difficult.
Well, we're putting this in the universe. We don't really want to put it in the universe.
I don't want
But
to
I think
either.
sadly it's the state of and some of these players were caught going out, maybe not doing some, just stay with it. I know it's not easy, but just do what you have to do. Stay with your group.
Basketball
and not get out.
seems very confident going forward, being in the bubble, that they are going to be able to manage a spread of infection.
But if you remember, they were the first ones to pull the plug. The NBA was the first one to pull the plug
they
on
were
the
in
season.
right?
They were the first ones to do it. So now here we are coming full circle,
Yeah.
getting ready to continue to play, and that becomes a challenge too. So we'll see. I mean, hey, let's go Mets. That's what we want.
Let's go Mets. That's it. You just play the game that's in front of you.
At least they're at 500.
They split the series with Boston, and
So that's a good stuff.
it is what it is right now.
So
It's typical Met fan now.
it makes us wonder why we're fans again. So we're back on our regular schedule starting Monday. Monday we're back in the studio, live from Raps at 12 noon. Monday we've got a handful of guests.
I think that Monday's going to be.
So if you follow Inside Bowling at all, Mike Flanagan, Matt Farberg, they've been this week they announced a new coaching program, Backstage Bowling, and they're going to be on the show with us with the O'Keefes, talking about Backstage Bowling and what they're doing, which is awesome. So that's Monday. Tuesday, we had talked about our friend Stanley from Trainertainment, and she's going to join us on Tuesday. Now that's a breath of fresh air. So
Yeah,
just
big
wait.
breath.
We're looking
And I
forward.
believe Wednesday, Chris Keller from
Yes.
All Star Lanes,
Inventor of Bowler's Team.
yes, will be joining us.
And before you know it, we'll be back to having some food on Thursday, maybe without Pam if she's on vacation. Well, I don't know what we're going to do. She's not going to be the same. So we got a full week. We look forward to being here. I'm Nazareth. I missed you the last few
I
days.
missed you too, Frankie.
I got to work on my tan a little bit.
We had a couple of, we were busy, but we made time every day to relax in the yard and kind of chill out. And it's been, it actually has been nice. It actually has been nice.
So she's trying to say it was nice without me.
No.
That's what
You
she
had a
just
good
said. You
time.
heard that, right? You heard that?
Did you have a good time?
I missed you though.
I missed you too.
Okay.
I missed it.
I did have a good time. It was a maybe I won't call it a full vacation. It was a nice,
No,
it was
but
a nice little break.
Sometimes it's nice to
We
get
normally
out
don't.
of the. Listen, we.
And Chris is looking forward to being with us on Wednesday.
Uh,
We're looking forward to having you too.
Yes,
Chris.
we are, Chris. We even though bowling centers closed and we're not at work every day, we still are at work every day.
We are.
Right. We're not working our regular jobs, but
We're at work right now.
We are. It's not the same.
We're
So
working
it was
virtually.
nice to get out of that
Yes. Yes. Out of the pool.
that flow for a little while.
And I know
Although I still went to work on you.
I was working. I worked by the pool.
You were working on it. And the Europa. I saw the picture of the wine
we
Mantle.
consumed the mantle as a
Oh, the
keep
mantle?
the mantle. Every time a bottle was empty, we had to put it on the mantle. It was a ceremony it became.
Oh,
So
that's
11 bottles
cute.
later, yeah. And honestly, we probably could have drank more.
You had 11 bottles in one night?
No, 3 nights.
Listen,
And that's nothing.
when I used to go out, when we used to go out with our little crew, Bill Hill, the Ferrantes, the Lopez's, we would drink almost a case of wine.
But was that all you drank though? Because we started in the afternoon by the
There were
pool.
1 or 2 people
Right,
that
so
didn't.
we brought out things down to the pool. So I mean that doesn't
So you would drink
include
all day.
the other consumption that we had. So a bottle of
I'll cut you
Tito's.
a little.
Yeah, we drank a lot. The second night, maybe not so much. But you know, it was just nice to.
It's nice.
It was nice
chill
to.
out.
We don't really get to do that. And I have to say, when we do get to do it, it's a business trip. And so a business trip. We didn't have Bowl Expo this year. We didn't have the USBC convention. I mean, these are trips that, as much as their work, they're
social.
pleasure and social. So we missed that. So it was nice to have something to look forward to. But if you're looking for a place that's not far, and you can get a reservation, I have to say Crystal Springs really is a nice place. They're keeping it
And
clean.
they have amazing golf course.
There's 6 total courses. 2 9 holes.
Ballyowen being my favorite.
Yeah, the guys that golfed absolutely loved it. And,
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Couple
The
of them
golf
were
course
kind of
wasn't as
hard.
difficult.
Couple of them were kind of hard. I know maybe Wild Turkey is one of them.
That's the one closest to the.
Yeah, I have no idea where they are. But I know Ballyowen is a links course, Scottish links. They have bagpipe that plays at some point.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Absolutely.
Our room overlooked the golf course, and it was just it's really pretty. And they said in the fall time, it's really nice. So
What a nice place.
yeah. Hey, we want to get back and do our thing, but in order to do that, like I said, I've lost all faith in humanity. We have to remind people to wash their damn hands. But please continue to wash your hands. Be safe. Be clean. Be like Harry.
Yeah, wear your mask.
Wear your mask. Now I'm wearing a mask.
Look at that. It fits on your head perfect. His head is about the size of your
Hey.
head.
If Harry only had a nose, the problem is his nose would be as large as mine, and that would be another problem. Pro Shop's open by delivery only. By appointment
By
only.
appointment only. And he does deliver to your locker. He did that a couple times this week, so he had some deliveries. And so, yeah.
So make an appointment to see Jimmy.
Yes.
Reach out to him directly. Go on Facebook. Find the link here. Find this post with the links. We'll reshare it. If you want to get your equipment checked out and ready to roll for the season, because there's a new season coming. We just don't know when, but there's a new season coming, and we can't wait to get back on the line. What do you think?
You're 100% right. This is all right. This is listen. We've been consistent and patient. The whole thing. We want this. You know what? I can tell you, when I look at what's going on in the United States, I am so proud of my fellow New Yorkers for really, for the most part, sticking to the plan and getting this under control. But now that it seems that it's mostly under control, it's time. We need to start to move forward. And I know they were announcing today about getting schools back online, and the vaccine is a whole other thing that I'm not. Well, let's go.
She just saw it. It is time. It is beyond time. And we certainly could use your help. So please, if you take a moment, write the governor's office and say we want to go bowling. We could do it safely, and we want to pester him a little bit because we are being left in the dark.
We'd be happy to give you a bowling pin.
We could ship it off to the governor's office with a nice note, no nasty notes. Andy, as we call him. Should we start sending them to Billy too?
We could.
I'm not really a fan, but we could send them to Billy.
I'm not a fan. That's
I'm going to want to clobber him with the bowling. I'd clobber him before I'd clobber him.
Well, there you go.
Hey, anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us today.
Thank you.
We were here live on the road.
Jay's on the Bay. If you have a chance, it's right on Bay Street, Highland and Bay. Can't miss it. Wait. great meal.
You can sit out back in the Oasis. You can sit out on Bay Street. And before you know it, you'll be able to sit inside and sit at the countertop, which is pretty cool.
They have a nice TV here. You could. They
And
probably
Naz
put the
Naz
game
is
on
watching
at
TV.
night.
I don't know which. I don't.
Roz had a thing on.
Oh, Dr. Oz. You like Dr. Oz.
The jury is out.
The jury's out.
TV doctors are a little tough to understand because everything is so
Well, he's got a-
sensationalized.
Talk show. You just can't do everything Dr. Oz says. I do like reading those things about people that have done everything that Dr. Oz says and either it doesn't work or there's too much stuff. You can't take every single vitamin he tells you to take. I think you have to take into consideration what he's trying to share
Well,
with
he
you.
has to, this is the way you gotta look at it. He's gonna make a show every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, some stuff is probably borderline stuff that is a big thing, but
Anyway,
okay,
we're not going to start ranting again.
No, we're not.
It's been fun. It's been real. Hey, like the page, like the
the
video
little bell.
feed. We want you to get the little bell, notify you for the next one. Continue to follow. Tell everybody, and we will see you on Monday. Enjoy this upcoming, which hopefully will be a beautiful weekend.
It's supposed to
Sunday
be
is supposed to rain.
tomorrow, but-
Tomorrow we'll see, but hopefully it turns out to be a nice weekend that you get to enjoy. In the meantime, we will be back here on Monday.
Monday.
At
Not
noon.
here. I'd like to be here.
Inside Rabs. Very dark Rabs country. We will see you on Monday. Naz.
That was awesome.